back to Renewed and Radiant. I'm Elsa Martin, functional nutritionist, and today we are going to do a little deeper dive into perimenopause because it's not necessarily what you think. And it comes with subtle signs that most women miss. Most women think that they will know when they're in perimenopause. They're waiting for the periods to disappear or obvious hot flashes, those clear, undeniable signs. But that is not how it starts. It starts quietly, subtly, and often confusingly. So you don't think, oh, this is it, I'm in perimenopause. No, you start to think, what is wrong with me? What's going on? Well, today we're going to talk about the subtle signs that most women miss and what is actually happening inside of your body and what you can actually do about it to help yourself out, of course. So why this phase gets missed so often? Because perimenopause is not just a clean transition. It's not just the hormones go down and the symptoms appear. It is hormone fluctuation, unpredictability. So again, you might have a great week and that might be followed by a terrible few days and then feel normal again, which makes you question everything. Like asking yourself, well, maybe it's stress. Maybe I just didn't sleep well. Maybe it's what I'm eating. And this is why so many women miss it, because it doesn't look how we expect it to look. I'm going to simplify what's going on inside your body to help break it down. So this is one of the biggest shifts as we go into perimenopause. Even if you're still getting your period, you may not be ovulating every cycle. And when you don't ovulate, you don't produce enough progesterone. So progesterone drops. Again, a reminder, progesterone is the calming hormone. Progesterone is what helps us feel calm and grounded, able to handle stress. So when it drops, you naturally feel more anxious. You feel more reactive. Things start to bother you that never used to bother you. And less resilient. You might find yourself thinking, why is he chewing so loud? Why is that person breathing so loud? Things like that start to irritate you. And so this is why women often say, I just don't feel like myself anymore. Progesterone. Number 3, estrogen becomes unpredictable. So estrogen is no longer stable like it has been for the last 30, 40 years. It'll spike and then it drops and then spikes again and then it drops. And so what this creates is those mood swings. It's like your mood is fluctuating along with the estrogen, as well as bloating and breast tenderness, irritability. And estrogen affects our serotonin. And serotonin directly impacts your mood. It's all so intricately connected. Number 4 is that your stress response changes. So with less progesterone to buffer that stress, cortisol has a bigger impact on your brain and on your body. So now you feel stress more intensely and you recover slowly from stressful situations. Even exercise can take more recovery time. You feel more overwhelmed by things that didn't used to bother you. See, it's not you, it's the shift that your body's going through. And number 5 is your body starts storing fat differently. Even if nothing else has changed, your body becomes more sensitive to insulin and stress, which leads to weight gain, especially around the midsection. So a lot of women notice harder time losing weight and more frustration with what used to work. Eating less, working out more used to work. It doesn't work anymore. So here's some signs that most women miss. And I want to get specific with this because there's some early signs that you need to pay attention to help you recognize, where is this coming from? So for example, anxiety that feels physical. The racing heart, the restlessness, waking between 2 and 4 a.m. That's a big one for a lot of ladies, waking up between 2 and 4 a.m. Feeling more on edge and overstimulated, or shorter patience and more irritability, as well as subtle cycle changes. Sometimes they happen subtly. The timing changes or flow increases or decreases, PMS changes. And then there's the brain fog or the forgetfulness. And then energy dips. You just don't have the energy like you used to. And then again, the weight gain, despite doing all the same things you used to do. See, none of these will seem extreme one time individually, but together they tell a story of what your hormones are doing and what's going on inside your body. So why this matters? Because if you don't recognize this phase as it comes upon you, you'll do what most women do. We try to fix it the old way by eating less, working out more, pushing harder, adding more pressure to ourselves, having that nasty self-talk, trying to beat ourselves into what used to work. But our bodies no longer respond the same way because now it needs something different. And if we don't adjust to give it what it needs, you're just going to be more stuck. So let me share today with you 4 practical things that you can do that are actually going to help. A shift into what actually works for women that are going into or are in perimenopause. Now you want to start to eat for stability, not restriction, because your body needs consistency now. So you need to focus on protein at every meal. I know you've heard me say this lots of time, healthy fats and fiber, because those are what's going to keep your blood sugar stable, help keep your hormones as stable as can be. You want to avoid skipping meals, avoid under eating, because when you are doing that, it causes the blood sugar to go all over the place. Having consistent meals with protein, fiber, and healthy fats helps stabilize your blood sugar and your hormones. Very important. Next, you want to make sure you're supporting your nervous system daily. This is a non-negotiable in this phase and something that most women in this phase of life when we're at that age miss it because we think we don't have time or everybody else needs us, all kinds of reasons. So things like just getting outside for a 10-minute walk, especially after every meal, is super powerful, helps bring everything down. Having slower mornings, instead of getting out the house at 5 a.m. and hitting it as hard as you can at the gym and pushing yourself or getting out for that long run. No, the state that your body is in, it needs a slower morning. Yes, fitness and exercise needs to be a part of that, but you need to do that in a healthy way that works with your body because your body needs signals of safety at this point. And then, changing your expectations around your workouts because again, what worked before, I see this with so many ladies, can backfire if you're doing it now when you're in this phase of life. Instead of focusing on more intensity and pushing harder and long bouts of cardio, instead of doing that, you want to focus on strength, using weights, walking, especially in the high intensity interval walking is extra powerful if you have the midsection weight that you want to shed. And then allowing time for recovery. This is important. Don't miss that part. Your body is talking to you and you need to listen to it and give it what it needs. And you'll be amazed how it will respond because less stress on the body equals better results. And then another great thing to do is to start tracking your patterns. Not obsessively, just awareness. Notice, what are your sleep patterns? How has your sleep been this week? Mood changes. Where do you notice that you're feeling more irritated or you're feeling better and more energized? Energy dips. When are you noticing that slump hit? A lot of times for women in this cycle range, it's the afternoon slump. And what are you noticing with your cycle? Has something changed there? Has your periods, how you feel, the PMS, anything changed? Because your body is sending you data every single day. And if you take nothing else from this episode, take this. Perimenopause is not a problem. Not understanding it is the problem. Because when you understand what's happening, you can work with your body instead of trying to fight against it. And everything becomes easier. I promise, I've been through this. I know what it's like. Your mood, your energy, your results, everything feels lighter and gets better when you listen to your body and fuel it for what it needs. Pay attention to what it's saying to you and those signals, and it will respond in a healthy way. So if this episode helped you connect the dots, make sure you subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend who you think also would like to hear this. And if you're ready to understand your body in this phase, I love working with women in perimenopause because what I do is we set them up so that they can navigate this season in the best possible way. But also, that is a huge factor with how you go into menopause and how your body deals with menopause. So if you can get on track and get your hormones leveled out and going through this journey when you're in perimenopause, trust me, menopause is almost like a breeze, really. It's so much easier if you can get on top of it when you're in the perimenopause phase. So I want to encourage you, reach out to me, message me, love to support you through this journey if you think I would be a good coach for you. Have an amazing day. Remember, you're not broken. Your body is just going through the natural cycle the way God created it to. You can make it so much easier on yourself and those around you, let's be honest, because they're very much affected by it. All right, it's time for us to go design a life we love.